Well, hello and welcome to Gmodism. This is your Lord High Admiral, and we shall continue with the bomber trials. Enlisted and commissioned officers in the Army of Gmodism and other personnel. Let's give some huge thanks to our continuing supporters Admiral Superdave, Captain Y, Commander Jacob, Lieutenant Asteria, C2, Gravy, Powered by Greed, Taylor Ross and Vincent Veritas for supporting us every month as a commissioned officer. We will now continue with the bomber trials with naval targets, because of course we have 24 submissions and we couldn't get through all of them in one simple episode testing them against the Onyx Watch Claymore. We are listening to Towards the Battle by Vesrets, which is our Army of Gmodism composer, as you probably already know. Beautiful song. Well, shall we get into battle? I think so. Alright, this video will totally start off as a one-person show. So Matros Neil then sent in 3 submissions, which will be going and testing the first in this particular little battle thing. This is the second submission, which is first out, and it's of course called the Invader. So let's get a Claymore in here. Alright, let's go. It has the cool 3D logo too. Alright. What will it do? This thing is actually a pack craft. Oh lords. I think we need to do a quick repair. Alright. It tries to stay above it. It has shields too. Interesting. Oh! It did an explosive pack damage. Very interesting. So its course of action seems to be staying above the target and dealing out some pack damage. But it fired its sequence of them. I don't know if it has accuracy issues. This is a slow target. Let's see if it can catch up. It's doing something. Look at that. It fired several rounds. It has optimal ability to deal damage, but it doesn't deal the damage type explosive, this type of fast firing pack, even though it's some very thin armor at the top here, it just doesn't get through. The damage it's dealing, it's been here for a while and it's taking off like some percentages. We're not switching pack type either. I think switching between the different types for pack is a great method, but it's not quite doing that. Let's try and respawn them and see if we get some other results. Alright, there we are. We're moving forwards towards the enemy. Oh lord, here comes some crams. Lucky! Alright. We're closing in and we can stay above target. Alright. And now what? Alright, yes. In a real scenario with AA guns and stuff like that, I believe it's quite vulnerable just staying on top like this. Especially if we have several of them. That's something we will check a little bit later too, thanks to Captain Y. We need to check so that they won't collide with each other, but that will be very apparent in the group testing and it will be a point of metric. So I do wonder how these will survive. during that type of magic? Well, we can already see that it has trouble reaching the target, and the damage it deals is kind of limited to an armored target like this. So we have seen enough from the Invader. I think a slower Pierce pack, by the way, would have been so much more effective against most type of targets. Next out, we have Nilden's third submission. This is the Penguin. So let's check out the Penguin. It has a cockpit, by the way, which is kind of cool. Did I mention it looks like a penguin? There we go. Claymore has entered the scene. Penguin is popping in. And it drops bombs. Alright. I do believe they have magnets. Look at that cute little thing. They look like tiny nukes. And there are many of them. They're popping in there. Yes, we're having some proper bomber action here. They come from all over the place. Magnetizing and damn. Yes. My ladies and gentlemen, this is indeed a bomber. Got a little unlucky cram hit there, but again, we are not judging the taking of damage in this particular challenge, in this particular sub part. Dies pretty low and spits out a couple of bombs there. Well, it's a true carpet bomber. It feels like a true carpet bomber, and I do believe it has some pretty cool results. And the bombs look pretty cool too. There are some custom parts. Look at that. Look at that. And they pop in here. Now the Penguin got a little unlucky hit, so we're just repairing it there a little bit. We can see the Claymore is already down to 8%. I think this can be quite effective against a larger wooden target, say the crossbones or something. It's almost like it knew which direction the Claymore is traveling, because it bombed kind of in front of it before it turned. Look at that. Next batch popping in there. I think it probably can do this all day, just spitting out these explosive bombs and providing a lot of damage. Look at that beautiful carpet. Pretty nice. We're of course against an armor target, so it takes a couple of bombs to get through the hull, but I do think it's a very decent bomber in terms of bombing. It is indeed providing some pretty good bombing results. It's a little bit slow with dealing damage than we could have hoped for. I think that perhaps having a small mix of frag, or well, against this target in particularly, but of course people were not told what targets they would meet, because that would make them able to counter that specific target. But for this particular craft, EMP would have been a great choice. But frag works a little bit better against armor in most cases, while explosives deals the most amount of damage against wood. So I think this type of bomber would absolutely shred a deep water guard build. But against an armor target like this, a mix of frag in those bombs would probably have been beneficial. But I think we are going to spawn it again, check again how it goes. Ooh, it has some... Look at that. It has some balloons to make it not fall into the water. That's good. In any case, we're gonna restart this and see the results a little bit more. Penguin, here we go. I bet this thing is not the easiest to hit. No? Alright, we're coming in for another one. No? I restarted it. Turns out I was holding on to the weapon controls. Look at that. Amazing. Trying to knock us out with some 64-pounders, I see. Well, not today, mate. And we're pretty darn quick at reloading too. I like this. Yeah, this is a good way of dealing bomber damage. Having them small like this can make them load quick, and that will also cost less ammunition. So that's one good thing with having proper bombs and not bomb missiles. That is, you can provide a lot more payload, maybe 2 or 3 times as much as you could have with missiles, just because you are only delivering payload and you're not having anything to do with fuel, fins, thrusters and all that. Well, I think I've seen enough to know how to grade a penguin, so I'm gonna write up the score. Look at that. More bombs popping in here. Nice. Next out, we have Nilden's first submission. Yes, it's still the same Matros. And this beautiful thing has a bomb cam. So I'm looking forward to see this thing in action. And indeed, here we have it. So let us get the Claymore here. Alright, here we go. Ooh, we have some lights there too, that's cool. I just have to check this out. Look at that. Look at that. Oh! That was just so cool, seeing that on the display instead. Alright. Alright, that's cool. Look at these bombs here. They look so nice. They look so cool. So here we have missiles instead. It can be a more reliable way to deal the damage towards the targets. Let's see if it's more effective than the Penguin, because I do believe in this case we have slower dealing of damage due to we have parts. But it depends also what type of damage it is. It looks like it's able to put the damage where it's most needed. So I do believe we can check out this thing a little bit here. We have explosive again. So I believe some APN guidance helps with dealing more damage. I see, and there we have the bomber cam on a spin block. Let's see if we can see some more bomb cam action here. I think maybe we're a little bit too close for that. Or no? Look at that. It's pretty likely to actually show the action indeed. The bomb cam works pretty well. Well, Matros Nilden is really giving a show here with this particular bomber. They're diving down. And since we're getting so close, I do believe these missiles don't need to get very near to deal a lot of damage. So that's very interesting indeed. You can see that this ship is again heavily damaged. It has the same kind of issue like the Penguin, that when we're dealing against armor targets, the damage type explosive will deal a little less damage, but in this case they were coming from on top. So I think that perhaps the payload itself might be slightly less, just better delivered. And there we see the Claymore got absolutely taken out. Very nice. We have spawned the target again, just to make sure. that our damage dealt was the damage intended. Alright. I think the claymore is coming in here. Yeah, there we go. And haha. So cool. So cool with the bomber cam there. Yep. Here we go. Come diving down, and oh yes. Very nice indeed. A couple of bombing rounds more. It basically circles above here, which is good to keep out of the way of those crams. And it constantly provides some bomber action feed. And shredding some blocks down there. I've seen enough to know how to grade this accurately. So, Nilden, I hope you enjoyed your one-person show for a while, but now we will be moving on to Ovo's design. Here we have the White Phosphorus Bomber by Ovo. And this is a design that looks absolutely amazing, and a lot of you have graded it as one of the best looking ones in this tournament. With some really sleek modern fightery designs without being too much decorations. It's still very sleek. The main design of the ship itself does give it the super cool shape, and we have some help with some, I believe there are some small wings on spin blocks with a tiny bit of spin clipping, which was allowed by me for this, absolutely. Spin clipping is generally not something that we do allow, but when it is for aesthetical reasons on small designs, oh, that's another story. So it looks absolutely amazing. We're gonna check it out here, and if you were wondering, we did a little poll thing. The commissioned officers in the Army of Gmodism have had their say on the designs they think look the best. Then all of the enlisted in the Army of Gmodism has also had their say. And I have taken these points and mixed them together and put them at the points for a future little... I took the points in regards for a future little episode, so we'll check that. But anyways, now Ovo's Phosphorus Bomber will deal with the claymore. Bam! That's some quick... What even happened with those guns? It was like instant teleportation. We're diving down. Oh, we're aborting. This thing is quick. 146 meters per second. What? And here we have... Oh, those bombs missed. Right, let's see here what types of damage come in. It goes down and dives in real quickly, so I do believe this will probably survive the testings against... Oh, not sure what that missile we're doing there. We're diving real close, but we're not dealing damage here. I wonder what's happening here. Oh, it dropped a missile. Oh, but it's not able to see the target or something. Alright, do we have a diff gun dealing explosive damage? I think that type of explosive damage will have a hard time at dealing much damage to this target. I think a high explosive diff rod would mostly make sense. Oh yes, it's also seemed to be proximity fused, so it has a very low likability to deal damage. Let's restart this battle and see if anything else happens. Alright, it seems to be firing its missiles directly to see an enemy, so we're gonna give it better opportunities by spawning it with a direction towards the enemy, because it is a quick mover. It moves in circles, okay. Let's see what these missiles, which are looking pretty cool by the way. They seem to not be able to see the target. I do start to think that these are unguided dumb missiles. Alright. And they went down to the water. Well, the phosphorus bomber might be one of the best looking designs we have in the arsenal, but it unfortunately seems to have a hard time dealing damage. Oh, we got a hit. So it does deal damage, which is good, but it seems to deal explosive damage with diff rods only, and these have a really hard time scratching the surface of this ship. I do believe that the phosphorus bomber will win this battle due to not getting hit by those crams ever, but I do believe it will take like half an hour at least. So I do think I've seen enough to see what points we should give it for this particular challenge. Next up, we will have Pizza Summoner's Stardalk, AS Stardalk, which has some awesome rotating gear things going on here for the engine parts. It's looking very advanced, and it's equipped with crams. We also have one of the absolutely uber cool cockpits here. So we're gonna see this in action right now. Alright, here we go. The Claymore is spawned. Oh, are you kidding me? It has it has target lock thing. I don't even know how that works. That's quite cool. I know how to do stuff like that in like another game that Star made, but I have no idea how to do this type of holographic target no target thing. Yeah, absolutely no idea. Yeah, this target locked / acquired thing, I think this is a really cool little feature. Really gives some super cool vibes to this vessel. All right. Oh, look, that target is locked. Gotta see this. Oh, yes, that's something. Oh, it dives down really deep. Look at the damage we're dealing here. This did not take long. This is probably some armor piercing explosive. So if you only have explosive, well, then your damage is stopping on the outside of the armor thing. But if you have armor piercing explosive, you can deal the damage inside, which is just the difference is the world. Look at that. It's trying to fight back with some crams. Ooh, but it goes down there. Oh, it got frag too. It has frag too. Look at that. Quite efficient. Right, we're coming in for another, I believe. I think so. Yeah, we're diving. Target locked. And there we go. When we're like in it, we can like feel the recoil of the crams. It's pretty cool. And we got some nice little colored panels there. Really convey some awesome Army of Gmodism type design, which is very cool. I think I finally, after playing this game for many years, developed some kind of style that's recognizable enough that one can convey it with some colors and some gold, which makes me happy. I was so confused what colors to have for a long while. Then I just decided on some colors, like, I don't know, last year or 2 years ago. Who knows? Alright. And they're really quick crams too. Yeah. That's some proper damage. Well, I do believe we've seen what type of damage it deals, but we're of course gonna run the battle once more just to make sure we got the same results. Alright, here we go. We're locking on. Damn, and we just feel the recoil. I think that's very cool. That we just can feel the recoil in that way. And we can see if it aims at a lucky spot, I do believe that this can one-shot. Yeah, it's a very strong bomber using crams, but not in the way I expected. I must say I really like the way that you can sit in the cockpit and that it has some target acquired thing, and when they fire you just feel those recoils in there so darn strongly, and that's just gives it a very cool type of feeling. Yeah, this I believe it has extra style points for being cool later on, but right now we're measuring combat performance, and I do think I've seen enough to be able to grade this thing as firepower accurately. Next up we have the Butterfly Wasp from Rush. There we go. The autocannons are autocannoning. We're waiting for a lock-on by the laser. They seem to be laser-guided missiles. We got the lock-on. Oh, nice little escape there. I think we dropped some kind of buoy. We did indeed. So, I do believe this is probably a sonar buoy. A sonar buoy. Too much light. 1 second. There we go. We're using recommended values instead. It seems to have been shedding some blocks indeed. Here we come again. Autocannons enabled. Missiles are locked. What are the chances? Wow, okay. We're really drilling holes there with the armaments. Oh no. I think I never zoomed in on what the regular ammo shells look like. So I thought it would be a little bit funny. Alright. They're so tiny, you know. Well, it goes away to reload its missiles. There is quite a lot of them. And until there is target, and then they immediately launch from close range towards the target and it goes away. Also launches that buoy, however you pronounce it, and is able to check out that. Okay. Very interesting indeed. Looks like a pretty strong attack diver bomber with some missiles popping in there. And I think we're dealing some good damage. We got some frags and some explosives mixed in there. Seems to be quite efficient. I think I know what type of damage it deals now, but we're going to run it again, just because that's what we do. Here we go. It climbs a little bit to get at the altitude it wants to get at. Alright. We're locking on, missiles incoming, going straight for the front there, and running away. Look at that, some pretty nice holes there. Here we come again. Not a good day for a particular claymore, I believe, but I don't think any of our test days. Any of their meetings, or what should we say, any of the encounters with the Army of Gmodism is not a good day for any other faction, naturally. That is not an ally. So, yes, I do believe exactly where I will grade this in relation to the other ones, so I'll write it up and we're gonna move on. Next up, we have Sean Reed's first submission. And Sean Reed submitted 4 submissions. In any case, this is the Daggery first submission. We're gonna unpause it and it sits there and chills when not in action. Did I accidentally... Well... It seems that we need to restart this battle. But it's interesting to see it in action. I accidentally spawned this thing. We're gonna remove that. I don't know what happened, so okay. I think we're good to go. We targeted the right enemy here. Oh, we got the blast guns popping in there. Here we have some... What is this? This is magnet mines, right? Moving towards... You can see, oh yes, the magnets have activated and we pop in here, bam. Oh well, they pack some good punch, I must say. I wonder if we accidentally got hit here. So we need to repair everything. I'm not sure if it got into the water because it was damaged or or what happened there. Well, interesting. Let's restart this battle here. Alright, here we go. Abroad the Daggery. We have some diff guns, right? Yeah, we fired something there. Dropping the bombs. This looks like large missiles. Oh yes, that's why they're packing a punch. I thought there were medium ones, but they are large indeed. So they can pack a punch there. Pack a punch there. So yeah, we got some proper bombs coming in here and getting activated. And oh yes, look at that. They're actually putting some big holes in there. I don't remember what type of ammunition we have for those guns there. We're gonna keep an eye on it so it doesn't get damaged. Because, oh, we're having blast guns trying to fire around there too. Wait. It didn't get hit, did it? I start to wonder if the revolving blast guns damage this target itself. Because that's a big issue. That will affect the score here, because of course you can see it aims downwards there. It won't fire, will it? Because it really looked like it fired. If it fires and shoots out its own AI parts, this is of course an issue with the dealing of damage. Dealing damage is very important, and we won't look at the aspects of it getting damaged itself from other crafts. But where if it indeed deals damage and disables itself, that's a whole other story. Because if it does that, oh yeah, do you see that? All right, it seems it's shot through itself, and while the blast guns provide some, it seems to have trouble aiming now. Well, the bombs are pretty strong. It is obviously, the Daggery is obviously dealing damage, but it really seems to damage itself, and that's a huge issue. that's like, yeah. Because I saw it shoot out some AI parts itself before, and it seemed to did it again, and then it crashed. So that's an issue. Well, that's why it's important to check several times here. It doesn't do it always, it does it sometimes. But, well, I do think I know now about how much damage it can deal. And its issues that would amount to a reasonable score here for dealing damage against this naval target. So I will write that down, and yes, we're coming in here. We'll just want to see if it drops. The Claymore looks really sad now, and now you see. Here we go. There we see parts. Its own parts. It's actually shot out there. Alright, well, good to know. Good to know. We're listening to The Walls of the Builder by our own Army of Gmodism composer. I think this will be enough for this time, so I do hope you have enjoyed this bomber trials. We will be checking out some of the other bombers in the later episodes. We have a lot of them. So, the different testing sessions will of course be more episodes. We're having a third episode of sea targets to cover them all, possibly 4, it depends a little bit on how long time the others take there. But that said, I hope you enjoyed it, and this is your Lord High Admiral Gmodism, and I'm signing out to all of my enlisted and commissioned officers. Thanks a lot for all the submissions, and it's been a pleasure to test all of your designs. In any case, this is your host signing out, if you're not enlisted yet. If you want to do that, you should probably search on how to get into the Army of Gmodism. It's very easy. In any case, see you next time.